Okay, hi Darcy. I've had a look through your draft, and overall, I'd say you've actually done a really good job of getting that the right tone for your now. Is this the vlog? Um, Things like Darcy here reporting for business today. Is it we or I'll? I'll be talking about upcoming FIFA World Cup, etc. So that's good. Just a few grammatical errors which I've highlighted in red. I'll do it for the first draft, but I won't do it for your second draft. You need to take responsibility. So it's not winded up, it's wound up. And then so first of all, I'll be talking about the upcoming FIFA World Cup. Maybe just a little bit of colourful language here. What what we're all waiting for, or what something like that. And of course, the Socceroos' chances. So you need to be very clear at the beginning of your vlog what the progression is. Then I'm going to talk about how the A-League has wound up, and then last but not least, the silly season of Australian football with departures and arrivals in the A-League. So you've got to give your viewers a very clear structure of what you're following. Now, do you think that you should start with the World Cup? I don't know much about soccer, but I would have thought that perhaps you'd start with A-League and then move on to the World Cup and our chances. But that I will leave to you. Okay. Now, in red, so your tenses are all over the place. The 32-man Socceroos squad has been cut to 26 yesterday. So was cut to 26 yesterday with Australia. Now who? Now you are the journalist. You've got to give that really detailed. You've got to give those real details. Excuse me. Okay, where was I? Yeah. So with Australia, so just be specific. Who was it? The Australian coach? If so, what's his name? A little bit, is he a controversial figure? Is he well respected? Is he well loved? So you just want, a little bit of extra info here. Surprisingly cutting, that's all fine. Now, Australia have up-and-coming games against the Czech Republic in Austria, where after that, so here, rather than that, you're going to say, and it's not until after that game that we'll learn the final 23 side that will line up in Russia. Now, I don't follow soccer, but on the sports news that I've been listening to, I heard sports journalists saying, there are going to be a lot of sleep. There are going to be 3 more heartbroken players when the final cut is made, or sitting on the bench or whatever. So just a little bit more of that evaluation, I'm calling it. Line the lucky final 23, or the, who get to fulfill their, I don't know if that's too, not very soccer talk, but who get to live their dream as they line up in Russia, but something like that. Now, you say, I believe. I don't think you should have that I think you need to just, it actually takes away from the authority. It's much stronger to say the 3 players most likely to be cut are going to be, rather than I believe. Do you hear the difference? You are the journalist, and we need to believe your authority. Will be Nikita, I can't pronounce any of those. And then you do go on to do a bit of the 3 players that are most likely to be cut and feeling the disappointment, going to be these guys. Then you say these guys, and then you give a bit of evaluation. These guys are essentially squad players and won't play when you have the class of the Muis, Leckies and Sainsbury's, I think you want to say, who are established starters for the Roos. Or you say they don't have a hope when you've got players of this class, something like that. But anyway, that was good evaluation. One of the more unlikely players to be selected Here's Melbourne City's Daniel Azani. That's all good. A lot of good evaluation, major step up for the player, etc. However, he's showed that he can perform at the highest level, creating. How about tell us a little bit about his goals? Was there one in particular that stood out? So a little bit more of your journalistic insight and evaluation. Now, this isn't going to be in your vlog, but just so that you know, that's the wrong way to spell there. Now here, a little bit of that evaluation. France and Denmark have released theirs, 26 men, plural. Oh, I don't know if that's right. You check if it's soccer squad for the World Cup. And then you need a bit of punctuation here. These are two of Australia's. Now, are they really good? Fiercest opponents or most feared opponents or most competitive opponents in the group stage? Both teams have some really dangerous players that we need to look out for in the upcoming friendly games. And a little bit more, in particular, Christian Eriksen of Tottenham Hotspur. Now, you have to forgive me. I don't know whether he plays for France or Denmark. Sounds like Denmark. And Antoine Griezmann of Atletico, who fought his way to finals. So fought his way with such... If you're assuming that your audience know what you're talking about, who fought his way so brilliantly or so with such determination or with such flair to the Europa League final, scoring a magnificent 20 goals this season. So just a little bit more, you've got to be a little bit more flamboyant, I think. Sports journalists are known for being, they're really big personalities. So you need to have that strong personal voice, that strong personality as you talk about the sport that you love. Okay, so then are you moving on to the Hyundai A-League? So just say a little bit of transition transition information here. So more on that when the final, more on the World Cup as the big day approaches. But in the meantime, let's look into the Hyundai A-League. And again, you've got to be addressing your audience. If you're anything, I know that we were all aghast or horrified or outraged by the whatever happened here, the 9th minute travesty when James assisted Costa Barbarossa's goal. So I want a little bit more of that voice and looking back at that and assuming that your audience have seen it and that they were amazed by it, whatever, and just a little bit more flamboyant language here. And then this glitch potentially cost the Newcastle Jets the chance to get their first grand final victory since 2008, with the victory running out the game, 1-1 victors. You've got quite a lot of victory going on here, haven't you? So have a look at that. Victory, victors. And again, I want that strong personal voice with the, how would you think of an adjective to describe the indomitable victory, running out the game, 1-0 champions, or I don't know, think of something. Now you're going on to silly season. So again, you need to indicate that you are transferring to this silly season of what? Think of a word to describe it. And there are players going left, right, and centre. I want a little bit more flamboyant language. This is good. Out with the old and in with the new for Adelaide United with long-term fullback. Blah blah blah. This is all good. Major controversy struck when Adam Taggart refused to sign a new contract for Perth and then did the dirty on them. Now, they always have nicknames for these teams. So that's what you need to be doing. Arch rival, the Brisbane Roars. or and puns. Sports journalists love their puns. So major controversy dropped when Adam refused to sign a new contract for Perth, and then did the dirty on them and moved to arch rival Brisbane Roar. Yeah, so you've done in total uproar, but yeah, okay, you might want to just emphasize that as you say it, leaving many or Glory supporters roaring, perhaps would be better. Anyway, you are on the right lines, so happy editing.